Indochina, where French and Vietnam troops begin a lightning offensive against the key town of Cho Ben, 30 miles southwest of Hanoi.
Vietnam, with its storied history and diverse geography, has long been shaped by its struggle for independence and subsequent divisions following the First Indochina War in 1954. The Geneva Accords delineated the country along the 17th parallel, birthing North Vietnam under Ho Chi Minh's communist regime and South Vietnam, supported by the United States.
In the Green and Bronze Conference Hall at Geneva, the last hours of the Indochina War were played out. Viet Minh delegates agreed the truce with Vietnam and French representatives.
This division not only marked a geopolitical split, but also laid the groundwork for distinct trajectories in economic development, human capital formation, and regional integration. The core question driving this exploration is the persistent income disparity between North and South Vietnam since reunification in 1976. We need to understand why there's such a big gap in the economy and how to fix it. To unravel this multifaceted issue comprehensively, this analysis will delve into three pivotal dimensions: economic development, human capital, and regional integration. The division of Vietnam into North and South during the Vietnam War, 1955 to 1975, laid the foundation for enduring economic disparities. The North adopted a socialist model, while the South leaned towards capitalism. Post-reunification, South Vietnam surged ahead economically, driven by the sweeping market reforms of the late 1980s, known as Doi Moi. These reforms attracted foreign investments, fueled trade relations, and led to rapid growth. Over 3 decades, Vietnam underwent a profound structural transformation, shifting from an agrarian economy to a modern one, fueled by foreign direct investment, FDI-led manufacturing. This shift elevated Vietnam to lower middle-income status, with sustained growth averaging around 7%, significantly improving living standards. GDP climbed steadily to 8.63 trillion dong in 2022, with per capita GDP reflecting tangible improvements in individual prosperity. Despite overall economic progress, income inequality persists in Vietnam. The Gini coefficient, a measure of income inequality, decreased from 0.431 to 0.3731 between 2016 and 2020. Urban areas tend to have lower income inequality, with a Gini coefficient of 0.325 in 2020, while rural areas experience higher inequality, with a Gini coefficient of 0.373 in the same year. Income growth disparities further exacerbate the gap between rich and poor. From 2016 to 2019, the low-income group experienced slower per capita income growth, averaged 5.7%, while the high-income group saw faster growth, averaged 6.8%. Regional disparities are also pronounced. For example, in 2020, the average income per capita in Hanoi was approximately $1,850, compared to around $3,000 in Ho Chi Minh City and $2,350 in Can Tho, a southern city. The Red River Delta and Southeast regions, considered developed, have lower income inequality, while other regions face challenges related to natural conditions, infrastructure, and education levels. Efforts to bridge these gaps continue, but challenges persist. In the North, attempts to emulate the Southern model through Doi Moi reforms have been hindered by bureaucratic inertia, entrenched interests, and ideological constraints. Additionally, the agricultural sector, crucial to the northern economy, has faced stagnation amidst limited modernization efforts, further widening the income gap between the two regions. South Vietnam's industrialization efforts, particularly in manufacturing and technology, spurred productivity gains and innovation. Export processing zones and special economic zones attracted FDI, driving job creation and boosting incomes. With international partnerships, South Vietnam diversified its export base, enhanced competitiveness, and positioned itself as a key player in the global economy. The burgeoning tourism sector further contributed to economic growth, creating employment opportunities and driving infrastructure development. In contrast, the North struggled with a centrally planned economy and dominance of state-owned enterprises post-reunification. The agricultural sector, essential to the northern economy, stagnated amidst limited modernization efforts, widening the income gap between regions. Despite strides in heavy manufacturing and energy production, economic growth in the North remains slower due to structural inefficiencies and inadequate infrastructure investments. Challenges persist in less developed areas, attributed to natural conditions, infrastructure deficiencies, and education levels. Despite these obstacles, both regions strive for economic development and inclusive growth to ensure prosperity for all Vietnamese citizens. Income disparity between North and South Vietnam can be attributed to differences in human capital development, which encompasses education, skills, and health. Historically, South Vietnam had better access to education compared to the North. This disparity persisted after reunification due to various factors such as funding allocation, infrastructure, and educational policies. According to data from the General Statistics Office of Vietnam, in 2020, the net enrollment rate for primary education in South Vietnam was 97%, compared to 95% in the North. Similarly, the net enrollment rate for secondary education was higher in South Vietnam at 87%, compared to 82% in the North. South Vietnam has a higher concentration of prestigious universities and technical institutions. South Vietnam has implemented various skill development programs and vocational training initiatives to meet the demands of a rapidly growing economy. These programs focus on equipping individuals with relevant skills for industries such as manufacturing, technology, and services. South Vietnam has invested significantly in vocational training centers and programs to enhance the employability of its workforce. According to the World Bank, in 2019, South Vietnam had 1358 vocational training centers, compared to 1047 in the North.
Career counseling, mentoring programs with industries, professional and meaningful internship opportunities. Such reform will equip Vietnam with the human capital it needs for the future and to drive Vietnam's competitiveness.
Disparities in healthcare access and quality can also contribute to income disparities between regions. According to the Ministry of Health, South Vietnam had a higher density of healthcare facilities, including hospitals, clinics, and health centers compared to the North. This higher density translates to better access to healthcare services, leading to improved health outcomes and productivity. South Vietnam's focus on innovation and entrepreneurship has cultivated a culture of creativity and adaptability, fostering competitiveness and sustainable economic growth. Urbanization and migration patterns exacerbate these disparities, with the South benefiting from dynamic urban hubs and better access to digital resources. Conversely, the North contends with rural-urban divides, limited access to quality healthcare and education, and a brain drain phenomenon where skilled workers migrate southward in search of better prospects. Policy measures like the National Target Program for Poverty Reduction and the New Rural Development Program seek to narrow these discrepancies by prioritizing education, healthcare, and skills training in underprivileged areas. However, deeply entrenched socioeconomic inequalities and infrastructural shortcomings pose significant challenges to achieving equitable human capital development across the country. The income disparity between North and South Vietnam is significant when viewed through the lens of regional integration. Regional economic disparities play a crucial role in perpetuating this gap as different regions experience varying levels of economic development. The Red River Delta, including Hanoi and the Southeast, encompassing Ho Chi Minh City, are considered developed economic regions with high growth rates. Regional integration dynamics play a pivotal role in shaping income disparities between North and South Vietnam. While the South actively participates in regional cooperation through platforms like the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, leveraging resources, technology, and market access, the North's engagement remains subdued, hindering its economic prospects. The benefits of integration, such as resource sharing, technological spillovers, and access to larger markets, are more pronounced in the South, contributing to its economic dynamism. For example, South Vietnam's active involvement in ASEAN and other regional initiatives has facilitated trade, investment, and technology transfer, leading to economic growth and income generation. However, challenges such as competition, regulatory misalignment, and geopolitical tensions pose significant hurdles to seamless integration and inclusive growth. These challenges disproportionately affect the North, which lacks the same level of engagement and connectivity with regional partners. Initiatives like the ASEAN Economic Community, the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, and the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, RCEP, offer avenues for enhanced integration and reduced income inequality. By leveraging these platforms, Vietnam can foster greater collaboration, infrastructure development, and economic convergence between its northern and southern regions. Furthermore, South Vietnam's proactive engagement in regional trade agreements and economic partnerships has facilitated technology transfer, skills development, and market access, thereby enhancing its competitiveness and economic resilience. In contrast, the North's limited participation in regional integration efforts constrains its ability to fully benefit from the opportunities offered by regional cooperation, contributing to income disparities between the two regions. Enduring income disparity between North and South Vietnam is a complex issue deeply rooted in historical, institutional, and developmental factors. Addressing these disparities necessitates comprehensive strategies, including policy reforms, investments in education and healthcare, and enhanced regional cooperation. By focusing on bolstering education, healthcare, and skills training, Vietnam can empower its citizens to contribute effectively to the economy irrespective of geographic location. Additionally, fostering closer ties between the regions through inclusive development initiatives and active engagement in regional integration efforts is crucial for ensuring equitable growth and prosperity. Ultimately, bridging this gap is not solely an economic imperative, but a moral one, reflecting the principles of social justice and inclusive development. Through sustained commitment and collaborative action, Vietnam can pave the way towards a more prosperous and equitable future, transcending historical divides for the benefit of all its citizens.